Welcome to the RadioU podcast. I'm Hudson.
And I'm Allie.
Coming up, if aliens are real, what happens to money?
Also, what was spotted on Alcatraz Island for the first time ever?
All that and more on the way next. Well, it was a college football playoff championship that was worth staying up for last night. Hopefully you did. 8772 Radio U. Indiana does something they've never done before. Win a football championship. And they actually did it in really amazing fashion. It was a great game.
Yep.
But Fernando Mendoza earned it. He proved why he got the Heisman, and he was, to me, the difference in the game last night. What separated Indiana from, in many ways, getting outplayed in a lot of other aspects, but you just could have Fernando Mendoza to lean on. And 4th and 5 in the red zone, up by 3. Do you go for a field goal? Do you try to win in the fourth quarter? And they went for it, and Fernando Mendoza runs it in for a touchdown, and that was the cushion that they needed to be able to get the national championship win over Miami.
Yeah, I don't think there's many seasons when you can say a Heisman Trophy winner proves that they should have won the Heisman after winning the Heisman Trophy. But I think you can say that about Fernando Mendoza after that performance, after that game, after that dive. He deserves to win the Heisman Trophy. And, you know, there's very few seasons we can point to where it's like the team that, you know, was perfect, had the national championship, and also had the Heisman Trophy winner. You know, they put it all together. There's very few teams you could point to that have done all of those things. I mean, I think the first one that we think of is obviously Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers from 2015. They were perfect. They had the Heisman Trophy winner and just looked unstoppable. And Indiana really looked unstoppable all year. And as you said, this game was very, very close. It was a good, hard-fought battle, but Mendoza was the difference. Yeah,
especially when the juxtaposition, obviously it was not the last drive for Indiana on offense when he scored the touchdown.
Yeah.
There on 4th down, Miami went down and scored, put it back at a 3-point game, and then Indiana kicks a field goal to make it a 6-point game. So it wasn't the game ending, but that was the play for Indiana. Yeah. And then, of course, Miami, I feel very emblematically of their season and just who they are. Carson Beck throws an interception on a drive to end the final drive to end their chances of winning.
Yeah.
It just feels, and then the juxtaposition between the two just feels fitting. Allie, don't you think this is, obviously Indiana does something that's never been done before. They go 16-0, an amazing season. Shouldn't everybody else be embarrassed?
Embarrassed. By why?
By Indiana. They are the most losingest school of all time, right?
Yep.
They had nary a 5-star recruit on the team, only a few 4-stars. So it's basically a bunch of guys that were just not thought of at all in recruiting. And in 2 years, Indiana goes from a nothing program to making the college football playoff. And then 1 year later, so 2 years from Curt Cignetti getting there, winning the national championship, again, without any 5-star recruits whatsoever.
Yeah.
Shouldn't Ohio State and Michigan and Alabama and Miami, who gave them a good game, but they should be embarrassed. If Indiana can do this and they're Indiana in 2 years, what's your excuse? What's Michigan's excuse that, like, Jim Harbaugh leaves? Shouldn't you still be able to just bounce right back? If Indiana can do it, you're Michigan. Why can't you do it?
Well, Michigan's got a lot of other things to worry about. But I will say, yeah, it's extremely impressive with what Indiana's done. Now, I will push back a little bit in the sense that I feel like sometimes we look at this story and we think that over the past 2 years, what Cignetti has done has been like a miraculous turnaround for Indiana. And in some senses it is. But also I do think back at some of those teams that, you know, Allen had put together, and they were very competitive teams. It's not like they were winning 2 games a year. They were winning 7, 8 games a year. And so this isn't the turnaround that maybe some people are thinking. It's more of a, if we could call Indiana a franchise turnaround, where it was the losingest program ever. And, you know, the program that hadn't won a national championship, hadn't even, I think, played in the Big Ten championship game in like 40 years?
Yeah,
maybe
probably
even
at
more
least.
than that.
I think it wasn't the 60s last time they even won a conference championship.
Maybe, and they might have not played for one in the since like the 80s, and so it had been a long, long time, and so this is really just you have to give all like hats off, give all the claps, everything to this Indiana team for what they've done. It's incredible.
It raises the bar for everybody else that I don't know. It's not like all of a sudden every coach should be fired in 2 years. But at the same time, again, you're Lane Kiffin coming to Ole Miss. Kurt Cignetti turned Indiana into a national champion in 2 years.
Yeah.
So you go to LSU, Lane Kiffin, you got 2 years. And you need to at least be in the conversation.
Right.
Because if Kurt Cignetti could do it, you have no excuse.
It's
I'm telling
true.
you, at a better program.
This is just going to funnel more money into the Big Ten, though. Like, it's just watch out. Like, the Big Ten, they're all going to want to compete with Indiana. Mm-hmm. And now the more and more money, the more and more donors are lining up to give.
There seems to be a new prisoner at Alcatraz, 8772, RadioU. Not sure remember Donald Trump was like, we should reopen Alcatraz.
Yeah, I don't know where that
Whatever happened
plan
to that?
went.
But I don't know if this is what he had in mind. The island of Alcatraz, only known for having one of the most famous prisons of all time. It's not been actually in use for imprisoning people for several years. It does have a new guest, coyotes. For the first time, as far as we know, ever, a coyote has been spotted on the island of Alcatraz.
Huh.
And I don't really understand what the coyote is doing there.
Right. I don't really understand how it got there.
It's
an island.
Yeah.
Do coyotes swim?
They do swim. They
That's
doggy paddle.
That's a far way to doggy paddle.
I know. If this is what I'm wondering. If this island, if this prison was so secure that it was like impossible to escape and there's only those 3 guys, right?
Yeah.
Frank and whatever the other 2's names were that supposedly escaped, but we don't even know where they wound up because they might have died because it was so dangerous.
Yeah.
How's a coyote just able to swim to it from shore?
I don't know.
But that's the only way, right? It's not, I mean, obviously boats go back and forth to Alcatraz because there's tour groups and stuff. But there's no way a coyote stowed away on a tour
without
group
people
boat.
knowing. Yeah.
So it had to have swam there. And then the next question is, why would it do that?
I don't know.
Was this a dumb coyote?
Might be.
Was this coyote, did he just fall into the water and got lucky that he drifted towards Alcatraz? And he's like, I'm safe here. But what he's going to realize is what he's going to eat there. There's nothing to eat. There's nothing to do.
Well, there is other wildlife there, but it's all like birds and maybe some small things.
Yeah, is he going to be able to catch that?
Well, he might be able to catch some stuff. I think coyotes.
And he's going to be all alone.
Coyotes do go after birds, but I don't know. What he's going to do. Like I think the Wildlife Service would have to relocate him, right?
Oh, I think you just let nature run its course.
You just let him die.
Just see what. If that's what nature has in store, if that's the choice that the coyote has made with himself, then that's just what's going to happen.
I'm fine with that. Letting just see what he does.
Yeah,
but
let him figure it out.
I have a feeling the National Park Service is going to be like, yeah, we're going to move him just because they don't want any weird things to happen. As you said, guest tours happen all the time at Alcatraz,
and he's going to get desperate. Because there's not much for him to do or eat there.
I would hope not, but that could be an option they'd think of.
But, I mean, if he could figure out a way to get himself there, he can figure out a way off. And if not, then that's his problem. He shouldn't have shown up there in the first place.
Yeah.
He should think about his choices.
Okay.
But apparently the coyotes have been expanding. Like, you go back in time further enough, and there was no coyotes in the Bay Area, really, generally, of California. And then apparently one guy, after basically coyotes have been eradicated, and then one guy was mad about trapping coyotes to the point where he was like, I know what I'll do. He was mad that he wasn't able to do it. And so he did get a coyote somewhere and started letting them loose.
So that he could trap them?
No, because he was getting revenge.
Oh, what?
He was getting revenge against the rules of the area. This is what I just read. And so he freed coyotes in the area so that he could get his revenge because he didn't like their trapping rules.
Okay.
Yeah. And I
That's
guess it
just
worked because look
odd.
who's having the last laugh now. That guy's probably long gone, but because this is like the 50s, but the Coyote's still thriving. In fact, invading Alcatraz as we speak.
That's so wild.
Does this mean now that we cannot open up Alcatraz for prisoners?
Maybe this is a deterrent for prisoners.
Yeah, you don't want to
You don't
wind
want
up
to
with the
end up on
Coyotes.
Coyote Island.
Yeah, they got to rename it. Allie, how do you remember to make sure you have like all the important stuff you need to have before you leave for work every morning?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like I'm usually the person. I've got like this countertop because like my kitchen is right next to my door.
Uh-huh.
And so I've got this counter that's like a bar. And so I usually put my purse and whatever I need to come with me out the door. And usually I pack a lunch. And so I'll put my lunch box like out on the countertop as well and then pack it because everything's in the fridge. And then I'll put it in there and there I go out the door.
So you just all have it all in one stack.
Yes.
The night before.
Yes.
The journey to a successful day starts the day before.
Right.
I'm just trying to look for tips because this didn't happen to me today, but I'm trying to figure out a lot of times, right, when it's a long weekend, I have a work computer and I bring the work computer home.
Oh, yeah.
But it's really hard for me to do work at work if I don't have the work computer.
Did you almost forget it?
So that that didn't happen to me today, but
Okay.
it's always a struggle to figure out how to remember to bring the work computer back to work.
Yeah.
If I bring it home, because I did this one, like I'm like you, it's like if I leave everything in a stack, if I put my keys and my wallet
On top of the laptop.
I'm not going to forget. But since it was on top, I just picked up the keys.
Oh, no.
And ran away. And so literally I've gotten all the way to work and realized I don't have my work computer and then had to drive all the way home.
I remember that happening to you very early on in me working with you before I was even like on the show full time, I think. And you were like, I got to go home.
And it's
I was
still
like,
a struggle.
Oh, no.
It's still a struggle to make sure that I actually remember to bring the work computer back and obviously all the other things. And it's one of those things where it's so important that I drove all the way back home, literally right after pulling into the parking lot to make sure I had the work computer.
Yeah.
Because I needed that. Or like, obviously, whether it's your keys or I know less and less people use wallets, but like sometimes you can't go anywhere without it.
Yeah, you need your ID.
Yeah, and it always seems to disappear at that most important time where you're like, I'm already running late. I don't have 15 minutes to just hang out and look for keys.
Yeah.
And for some reason, you can't find them. I want you to know that you are the keys to God. That the same way that you don't just kind of like, if you realize you're going somewhere and you can't find your keys, you don't just kind of like, guess I'm not going anywhere then. Like you turn everything upside down. You don't rest until you have the keys.
Right.
Because it's that important. That's how God feels about you, where God could just get in his car and just drive off without you, I suppose, keys not required.
Yeah.
But he's not going to do that. The point is that he's looking, that he's searching, that he is turning over every couch cushion and everything in the house because he wants you with him.
Yeah.
That's how Jesus feels about you. And I feel like we miss that a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Think in your mind right now of like the most precious item that you have in your home that you own. Like something that is just like so meaningful to you. Maybe if someone else even looked at it, they'd be like, that's meaningful to you, but it's got like sentimental value. If you lost it, you'd be devastated. And I feel like that's what you should think of in that experience of if God lost you, he absolutely would be turning everything upside down, looking for that thing, just like what you would be doing if you lost that thing that means so much to you. So think of yourself in that way. God views you as worth so much that he's literally moving heaven and earth to have a relationship with you.
Yeah. And what's kind of crazy is, unlike your keys, God knows exactly where you are. He knows where you are today. It's not that he can't find you. It's that he's waiting for you to go, I'm here. Let's go. Let's go on a journey. Let's go on a trip wherever we're going. And that's what God wants. So do that today. Say, hey, Jesus, I'm here. Take me with you and see what happens. RadioU.com/free gift. We talked recently about living on top of a Costco.
Yeah.
How about sleeping in a Walmart? 8772 Radio U. Who else but A Florida man
Oh, of course.
has recently been arrested for trying to stay overnight at a Walmart in Englewood, Florida. The guy's name is Matthew Hurley, and he was, of course, attempting to stay overnight at a Walmart for a TikTok challenge. When the authorities, the deputies, arrived and were questioning him, he said he was trying to live stream himself staying overnight at a Walmart to earn money. And they had found him in, of course, he was in the dog bed section. A smart place to hang out. I mean, that sounds like the most comfortable in most of Walmart, right?
Yeah, I mean, if the dog beds actually look super comfy, those big ones that are fluffy.
Yeah, you could do all right in one of those. Apparently, the only other thing that he had disturbed in the Walmart was that he had taken an iPhone charger from its packaging. But other than that,
He's like, I gotta charge my phone.
Yeah, but it sounds like he did not last very long at all.
Okay.
It was 10:15 p.m. when he was caught. He failed. He failed miserably at
Definitely failed big time.
Yeah. That was Walmart even closed yet at 10:15?
I was going to say, I feel like Walmart's open like a long time, like so at least like midnight, right?
Yeah.
I know COVID changed a lot of Walmart time because it used to be open like 24 hours or something. They don't do that anymore.
But I feel like they still have people working there probably 24 hours a day pretty much.
Yeah.
Which still surprises me, though, that he couldn't. That he wasn't able to last a little bit longer than 10:15.
Walmart is so huge.
Yeah, it's so big, and I'll be honest with you, it is a guilty pleasure of mine because I know that it's like people shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
But when I do see videos on YouTube of people like, I'm gonna try camping out or staying overnight at this place without getting caught, I can't resist but watch to be like, are they gonna make it?
Yeah.
And so often they actually do. It's actually not that hard.
No.
You just have there's like obviously there's a time where whatever the thing is open.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get in. Then there's the window, and you just have to make it through the window of time where people might spot you. And then if you just make it to the overnight time, you're clear. You can sleep. You can actually go to sleep. Nobody's going to notice.
Right.
And then everybody comes back in and you should be good. So I don't know how this guy failed so miserably.
Have you ever seen the movie with Natalie Portman, Where the Heart Is?
No.
Basically, she's doing this challenge in that movie.
Where does she hide out?
In a Walmart in Oklahoma, I think.
Really?
So she's pregnant. She gets abandoned by her boyfriend. They're on their way from, I think, like Tennessee to California or something. And he's a loser. He leaves her. And she ends up like living at Walmart. It's a kind of a wild story, but it's very like I know I'm kind of describing it in it makes it sound like it's a comedy.
Yeah.
But it actually is very sweet and wholesome. And she gives birth to her daughter there and becomes like a local phenomenon.
Whoa, and names her daughter Walmart?
No. But it is a fun movie if you've never seen it.
I mean, out of all the places if you were abandoned somewhere and you had to make it through a night, I mean, Walmart would probably be on the top of the list of best places.
When I was a kid watching that movie, I didn't watch it when I was super young, but I watched it probably when I was like, I don't know, maybe 11 or 12. I was like, I could do this. That actually looks kind of fun.
It seems, there's everything you need, especially to make it through one single night is there.
Yeah.
They have the dog beds.
Right.
And yeah, it'd be like a sleepover. It'd be like camping out.
Right.
So, but this guy, 10:15, I can't get over how pathetic that is. It's time for our Monday tradition on a Tuesday, 8772 Radio U, the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what didn't in theaters over the long weekend. Of course, let us know what you've seen lately in theaters or otherwise at 8772 Radio U. Allie, what do you think was the number one movie at the box office this weekend?
I don't even really remember what exactly we all talked about, but I do know because we just talked about it a couple minutes ago that 28 years later, The Bone Temple came out.
Yeah.
Was that number one?
That wasn't.
Okay.
Quite number one. It was new this weekend. It was the best new release at the box office.
Was Avatar number one again?
But I couldn't quite catch Avatar,
Wow.
Fire and Ash.
That's crazy. I still haven't seen it. I'm planning to go see it, but that's crazy that it's making so much money.
Avatar made another almost $18 million just in North America over the long weekend. So we're talking $368 million in North America, and overall, obviously, several over $1 billion. Number two was 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which fell a bit short of expectations. It made $15 million over the long weekend. Not quite good enough for their thoughts. Made about over 30 million worldwide. So It did okay actually overseas for what they were expecting, but trying to figure out why, despite its pretty positive reviews and audience reception, why more people just didn't go to see it in the first place.
Yeah.
I think it's probably because we just got a 28 years later movie.
I was going to say, we just got one last year, right?
I think so.
So it feels very quick. I thought this was actually, when I saw advertisements for 28 years later, The Bone Temple, I thought it was a show.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, surely they would not be releasing another movie this quick.
Yeah, or I thought I was crazy. I was like, how many years has it been since they put out the last one? Like, have I been... It
Well, there
seemed
was
like it
such
must
a
have been
big-
years ago, but
Right.
it wasn't. It was last year.
It was last year, and there was such a big difference, like such a long time between the first movie and that movie.
Yeah.
And so it just feels really rushed that they would do this.
Yeah, I don't know who was in charge of the schedule there, but it didn't work out quite as well as they planned. But they're at Sony hoping that over the next month or so, it'll still wind up making a bit of money back, since it had a disappointing opening weekend. But again, the reviews are very good. Number three at the box office. This is crazy because this movie has been out for 2 months now, like 2 entire months. Zootopia 2.
Wow.
That was number three with another 12 million, which really shows how it's a weak time at the box office. Just not a lot of great new options have been out over the last few weeks. 8772 Radio U. Let us know what you've seen lately. Allie, I'm sure you've seen something worth talking about.
Oh, absolutely. I can't wait to talk about it.
All right. And we'll see what everybody else has seen at 8772 Radio U. We just did the box office breakdown. Avatar, Fire and Ash still at number one in the box office, just narrowly ahead of this week's new release, 28 years later, The Bone Temple. Now we want to hear from you. What have you watched lately? 8772 Radio U. Allie, we did see William let us know that he just finished season 2 of Severance on Apple TV.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that was a good choice. And he says, until season 3 airs in 27, I've started watching Hijacked on Apple TV.
Okay, haven't heard of that one.
That's, they just put out a new season or started a new season. That's with Idris Elba. It's like a action spy, I think, show. I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Okay.
But I've seen the ads for it, and I love Idris Elba, so I really want to watch it. But I haven't started yet. So let us know what you think of it, William, at 8772 Radio U. Allie, what have you watched?
I watched the first episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is a Game of Thrones spinoff on HBO Max. It's very different from Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, which is what we've gotten so far in the Westeros world that George R.R. Martin created with his series A Song of Ice and Fire. Mm-hmm. And if you've ever heard of the Hedge Knight series, it's like a trilogy that George R.R. Martin wrote. And, you know, the rest of the stories are all very much like kings, queens, lords, ladies, political drama and, you know, battles and all of that. And this is just like, here's a little knight in, you know, Westeros on a regular day. And so it's just different, a very different vibe from what we've gotten so far in the Westeros world. But I really like that change because it just makes the world feel more real to me. So it's got a little bit more of like some jokes in it, including one joke at the beginning because the story starts off very brash, like just immediately you're in it. And I was like, okay, I didn't like that joke, but then the rest of the episode I enjoyed. But yeah, it's a different view of the world of Westeros than what we've seen so far. It's not about like the kings and the queens and stuff. It's more just about some random hedge knight, which if you don't know what a hedge knight is, it's basically a knight that has no money, no lands, no anything. And he's just going around trying to win some money at a tournament.
Relatable.
Yeah, and I kind of like that. And so it's going to be a fun time watching this show. I can already tell I'm going to love it.
We heard from Nicole at 8772 RadioU. She says, highly recommend Hijacked.
Okay.
And Philip says he's been watching Will Trent. I watched this. I watched the first episode of the show called The Night Manager.
Oh, yes. You did tell me about this.
The Night Manager is a show that I think came out about 10 years ago-ish.
2016?
Yeah.
Which is coming back around.
It might be a little older, but around, like it's about a decade old. That was the first season. It's a British show. It stars Tom Hiddleston and Hugh Laurie. In the first season, Tom Hiddleston is like this hotel manager. He gets roped into this like spy thing where he becomes embedded with Hugh Laurie, who is a billionaire arms dealer that kind of masquerades as a philanthropist. And so they're trying to take him down. And like, for whatever reason, Tom Hiddleston is the one that like gets in with him and eventually helps bring him down. And it really works because Hugh Laurie is such a good villain.
I love Hugh Laurie so much.
He's awesome. And obviously Tom Hiddleston is great too. Very James Bond-like. And that was 10 years ago or so. They just put out, there's a new season now.
Wow.
On Prime Video.
Okay.
I watched the first episode. I feel that I'm going to continue on watching it. It's very dry, though. There's like no humor to it at all. And so far, the first episode is kind of a lot to follow. Like I feel a little overwhelmed of keeping track of
everything,
how much it wants me to do. And just to be clear, it's not like I'm watching something else at the same time or scrolling TikTok. Like I'm literally watching it on my phone.
Paying attention.
Yeah, and I'm still like, I don't know if I'm getting all of this, but I think it'll all be tied together. But it's still good to have the characters back, and I was just surprised after so long they brought it back.
Yeah, and Tom Hiddleston's back as the main guy.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that is kind of wild.
Not much of Hugh Laurie yet in the first episode, so maybe that's why it's just not working quite as much.
Maybe.
Was it a catch or an interception? 8772 RadioU. Shirley, if you watched the Bills versus Broncos game on Saturday night, the Bills were sent home on a controversial deep pass from Josh Allen to Brandon Cooks in overtime that was ruled an interception. Allie, you saw this. What do you think?
Well, I was at a wedding at the time, so I did not see it live. I kept checking back in. I was literally on the dance floor. I would run to the table to check my phone to see what was happening, and then I would go back to the dance floor. And so I don't know. It's absolutely controversial. And I feel like it's hard for me to kind of come away with an opinion because I wasn't watching it live, wasn't seeing the drive, wasn't seeing the moment in person. And I get the benefit of like the slowed down version and all of that. So I don't know. What do you think?
I don't really understand because everything I've read says that by the letter of the law, it was like they did it the right way and it was an interception.
Okay.
I don't understand, though, because, like, Brandon Cooks caught it, right?
Yeah.
He had the ball, he hit the ground, and the Broncos guy took it out of his hands. In all that process, all in one fair motion, one smooth motion, this all happens, and it winds up being an interception for the Broncos. I just don't understand, because obviously the Broncos guy didn't catch it, right? If you said, who caught the ball? It wasn't the Broncos defender.
No.
Brandon Cooks caught it, and he hit the ground, so it feels like that should be a catch, and he should be down.
But unfortunately, with how the NFL rules work, because if it was college, it would be that. But the NFL, it's like, don't you have to, like, just because you land on the ground or like it doesn't mean you're downed. It doesn't mean the play is dead or whatever. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, he was being touched by the Broncos guy at the same time.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of the standard for
But the rule or the, I guess, interpretation is that he hadn't completed the catch because he caught it while he was falling or whatever. And so he had to go through. They say that you have to like complete the motion, go through the ground with the ball.
What does that
Which I don't know what that means. Yeah, I just feel like the rules are always very unclear.
Yeah.
But either way, the fact that the Bills, like, they turned it over so many times, it was not a good game for the Bills. They were lucky it got to overtime. And so I feel justifiably the Bills wind up firing their coach, Sean McDermott, after the loss.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Sean McDermott being let go in Buffalo?
I think that was the right move. Like, you had to do something because it's just not working. But I think what's really letting them down is their defense for sure. And so you need to have some type of revamp of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that looks like with, a draft coming up where they're not going to have the best of pick. But I feel like this is a pretty defensive heavy draft.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of good guys coming from college. And so I think you could still land yourself some good defensive players, even if you aren't picking very high. But yeah, they had to do something. And I guess this was probably what they were going to do, because you're not going to, you can't get rid of Josh Allen. Josh Allen isn't the problem here.
I remember going into the playoffs, the thing was like, this is do or die for Josh Allen. No Mahomes, no Burrow standing in his way. He's got to get it done. And I'm like, what do you mean die? What are they going to do? Get rid of him?
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
You can't get rid of him.
It was do or die for Sean McDermott, and he died.
Yes.
And like you said, the defense has been the problem. They allowed 33 points to the Broncos. And Sean McDermott's a defensive head coach. That's supposed to be his side of the ball, and their defense is always what lets them down. Josh Allen scores 28 points in every playoff game.
Yeah.
Even with his cadre of,
this was
whatever
the problem.
receivers, whoever these receivers are, they're not good.
Well, that, and also the problem for him this year was he had a whole bunch of injuries.
Yeah.
Take that into account as well. Like, yeah, sure, he didn't have Mahomes in his way, but this was the first year where he's like injured while trying to also make it to the Super Bowl.
And
so, yeah, I think
despite his injuries and despite the turnovers, they still put up 30 points, and it's still not enough because think about that interception. That was way over on the Broncos' own side of the field.
Yeah.
And they were still able to charge down the field in overtime and get the field goal they needed to win the game. So I feel like the defense has let them down, led by the coach, Sean McDermott, and so it was time to change. We haven't even gotten to all the other games or how the Broncos are now in the AFC Championship without their starting quarterback.
Yeah, it's really, I'm like, congrats Broncos on the win, but at what cost?
Yeah. Yeah, they need a Nick Foles situation.
Something.
And they might just have it. What have you accomplished lately? 8772 RadioU. Can it compete with this? A group of Minecraft builders known as Build the Earth that has spent over 5 years recreating New York City at a true 1-to-1 scale inside the game.
That's nuts.
Yeah, 5 years, and they are creating like an exact replica of New York City inside Minecraft. So far, they've covered parts of Manhattan, including the World Trade Center, neighborhood Tribeca, Little Italy, Chinatown. They're like getting all the details right down to like balconies on buildings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been working on this for over 5 years now.
That's so cool. Like, I mean, it's cool, but also like, that's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time. It's crazy that they've been able to continue on this project.
Yeah.
For this entire amount of time, because you think even like a fantasy football league, you start with 12 owners. By the end of the season, only 7 are paying attention.
Yeah.
And then you have to replace half of everybody if you want the league to start again next year.
Right.
And somehow for 5 years, they've been able to get enough people bought in to keep working on this. A project that is obviously, when you set out, it's going to take forever.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised that people haven't had, lives that they've had to live that have prevented them from building in Minecraft every day.
Well, I'm looking at this video right now. This is cool. Like, I think a lot of us might be, thinking this, and if you've never played Minecraft or never played video games, you're just like, wow, what a bunch of nerds wasting a bunch of time. And it is kind of some of that, you spent a lot of time doing this for what reason, for what benefit. But I have to say, it looks so cool.
It's really impressive.
It's very impressive. Like, I am genuinely impressed by this. Normally, when I see projects like this, I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of time just spent, at a video game. But this is so cool to me.
And it is one of those things where, like, once you're dead and gone, what's going to be left? Well, this is going to still be in Minecraft, right? People will still be able to go visit New York City.
If you love playing Minecraft, this would be a cool spot to go visit.
Now, that said, I feel like it'd be very frustrating because if you're trying to build it to like real life specifications to really match New York City is constantly changing.
Yeah.
So you spent 5 years of this and then some new building could go up and then you know what I mean? And
Right.
it ruins everything.
Yeah.
And you have to start matching real life construction. So I could see how it get frustrating, but they still have a long way to go to be able to like truly replicate the entire city.
But
and then what do you do after you get New York City done? You just keep working on the whole world?
I guess that might be their plan. They do have, it seems like a really decent YouTube channel where they update people because the editing on this video is very good. And what I'm seeing here is it looks like, if you are wondering, like, how do people even get into this? Looks like this, of course, started during the coronavirus.
Of course.
You know, which was
what else
it's going to be about 6 years ago in March when it broke out here in the United States. And so I feel like that makes sense that you would start a project like this during COVID, during lockdown.
You were locked down. What else were you supposed to do except build an exact replica of New York City to scale, 1-to-1 scale in Minecraft?
Right. We all had dumb ideas during COVID.
And they just stuck with theirs.
They did.
And they keep on sticking with it. So it is impressive. It is truly impressive. It is an amazing undertaking. And yeah, what do you do next?
I don't know.
Where would be the worst place to run into someone who was really mad at you?
Ooh.
8772 RadioU. My recommendation, the gym.
That's the worst place?
I think the gym would be a really bad place.
Okay.
To run into somebody who was really mad at you.
I feel like it's a place where it's like not public, like maybe like a dark alleyway.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'd be more nervous that they would think that they could get away with doing something really bad.
Good point.
Because there's no other eyes looking or no one to intervene.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point. But I'm just thinking at the gym, there's so many things they could use as a weapon.
Okay.
Or maybe you didn't even know they're mad at you. And
they just sneak up on you.
Yeah, or you're like, hey, can I get a spot? And they're like, sure. And then, you know, like there's so many ways.
No.
There's so many ways. And this actually happened
at
a gym in Texas, a 24-hour fitness, where a woman was attacked by another woman at this gym. Apparently, the attacker recognized the gym goer as someone who she at least claimed that her partner had been involved with.
Okay.
As in, like, I don't know if,
as an
if her
affair,
boyfriend had cheated on her or if this was an ex of his or whatever it was. But either way.
If it's just an ex-girlfriend, that is unhinged.
Yeah.
Like, I understand.
It's unhinged anyways.
It's unhinged anyways, but I understand it a little bit more if it's like this girl was cheating, you know, with your boyfriend recently. And so, like, there's a wound there that's very open. But if it's just like, she used to date my boyfriend. Like, what are you doing? You know?
But nevertheless, I don't even know if it's confirmed that like this girl had actually, you know what I mean, done anything with a guy.
What if she thought it was that girl and it wasn't?
Right, exactly. So I don't know if that's all been sorted out, but nevertheless, she was sure enough.
Oh boy.
That this woman threw a 25-pound gym plate at her.
Oh my gosh.
Which I know it didn't happen like this because there's no way this person was strong enough, right? They'd have to be like Hercules, but I just imagine it being flung like a frisbee.
That would be hard to do. That's like discus or something.
Yeah, 25 pounds. There's no way, but that's what I picture in my mind. And so, fortunately, this random woman that was being attacked was able to dodge the 25-pound weight. Didn't wind up getting seriously injured. Meanwhile, the attacker, this 24-year-old woman, has been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Oh, my goodness. Do we have pictures of these people?
I believe that we do. I think we only have headshots, so it's hard to judge how good of shape they're in.
Okay. No, we do see her in, like, the police
there
body
she
cam
is.
footage. So yeah,
It's not like she's ripped or anything.
No, I was like, it's not like she's a bodybuilder, so she wasn't gonna fling it very well. Although, if you're mad enough, then maybe the strength could come in.
Yeah, you just find another level within you. You turn into the Incredible Hulk.
Right, the adrenaline level comes
And
up.
you are able
She was
to
wearing
fling
red.
Yeah. You're able to fling a 25-pound plate like it's a frisbee.
Like it's a
just
frisbee?
Like an actual frisbee.
Oh my gosh. Just unhinged behavior all around. Whether you know this woman or not, whether she's involved with your boyfriend or not, unhinged. What were you thinking?
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe the gym isn't that bad because there's maybe hopefully a bunch of other like strong people
That's what
that
I was
could
thinking.
intervene.
Yeah, I would hope that because at least while you wait for the police, they can hold this lady down.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. But still, I mean, I don't want to be attacked anywhere, but a gym sounds particularly dangerous to me.
I think anywhere to be attacked would be dangerous.
Yeah, I'm so weak. I wouldn't stand a chance. Matt Damon has confirmed what many have speculated and claimed about Netflix for a while now. 8772 Radio U. Matt Damon was on the Joe Rogan Experience podcast promoting their new movie, The Rip, which just came out on Netflix. And anyone who watch it, let us know. 8772 Radio U. He says that when they were making the movie, Netflix wanted them to restate the plot, as in like speak the plot out loud in the movie 3 to 4 times to make sure that like people watching would know what was going on.
Okay.
Which is not typical
No.
of movies made for theaters.
Yeah.
But he says when you're watching Netflix, you're watching in a room with the lights on, things going on, kids running around, dogs running around, whatever it is. It's just a very different level of attention that you're willing or able to give to it. And that is why Netflix, when they're having people create movies for Netflix, intentionally wants the plot pounded into people over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched this podcast that he did with Joe Rogan. It was him and Ben Affleck, who I believe are both in that film. And they're both kind of behind the film. Like, I don't know if they both wrote it, but I think they both produced it. And it's like they have like a production company together or something. And they are basically kind of lamenting that the theater experience is, dying a little bit. And they mentioned like how much better it is to watch a movie in theaters because you're not distracted. You don't have your phone. You don't have all of this stuff going on in your own home that is competing for your attention. And so it is kind of funny, but it's true. Like oftentimes if you're watching a show or a movie on Netflix at home, the tendency to look at your phone, it's a big temptation. So I get why Netflix, I mean, I don't like that Netflix is asking people to do this, to like change their art and their filmmaking, to restate the plot several times, because that's kind of annoying to me. But also I understand why they are asking for it, because they know that this is how people consume their media.
He also mentioned how like this is an action movie, and typically in an action movie, you would have 3 set pieces, like big action sections of the movie where something big is happening. And Netflix asked them to make sure that one of those was in the very first 5 minutes of the movie to make sure that people will continue on watching it. So, I mean, listen, any movie you make for theaters also, when it's going to have a big budget, is going to have the studio is going to get involved and, give you notes and whatever and tell you different ways to do things. And it's always a struggle between the creators and the people that are actually funding it. But Netflix really seems to be boiling it down to like the people can't be trusted to stick with anything or pay attention to it at all.
Yeah.
Even though there's many other instances of things that were made for Netflix that aren't like that. And Matt Damon pointed one out of like Adolescence was a big show on Netflix. That's not made this way, but it's a show.
Yeah.
But it did very well.
It's all one shot.
Yeah, and it's not made this way at all. So why are we forcing it into these movies when maybe people can actually just pay attention? And if it's something good enough, it commands your attention to where you put your phone down because you want to know what's going on.
Yeah, I think that is true. There are ways to get around this, but I do think that it's important to realize like there's an easy ability, because we've all done this, to start a movie. And if it hasn't grasped your attention, when you're on Netflix, it's easy to just move on to the next thing. When you're in a movie theater, there's a little bit of a higher barrier there. Even if you're not as entertained within the first, 5 minutes, you're most likely not going to walk out of that movie theater unless something really bad agitates you enough that you're like, I'm done. But like, you paid to get in there, and we know movie tickets are not cheap.
Yeah.
And so I do think it's true. Like, you do need to grab people's attention quickly on Netflix or HBO or Prime, because it's so much easier with all those options to just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, but I feel like they're not doing their movie a lot of favors, at least seeing these quotes, because it just makes it feel like Netflix, and there's been so many other movies too, that where they do the big budget thing, but they also feel like they can take, in a way, the easy way out of, like, they're not actually trying to make a good movie that keeps your attention.
Yeah.
They're just trying to put in things to keep your attention.
Yeah.
Hit the checklist, but not actually worry about making a good movie. And then you get movies like, what's that one with Dwayne The Rock Johnson? And
I feel like it's Red something.
it's Red something. Yeah.
Red Band?
Exactly. And it's like everybody watched it, but also nobody actually watched it. And it's
I
just,
didn't watch it.
It's just
Is
like
it Red Notice?
you might have sat through. Is that one or the Christmas one? Either way.
I don't know.
It's
I don't even have
it's
Netflix.
there, and you just don't recognize it or remember it at
Right.
all, but it kept you around.
Which is why I partially don't believe the whole, like, the numbers that Netflix reports. Because I'm like, did everybody really watch that movie?
Yeah.
Or did they just start it?
Right. Ozempic. Is there anything it can't do? 8772 Radio U. New research shows that among the many amazing things that Ozempic and Wegovy could be capable of, one of them, saving airlines money.
What?
72 Radio U. Well, think about it. As more and more people use GLP-1 medications to lose weight, we generally, as a population, get thinner.
Okay.
We lose weight, of course. As we lose weight, flights become lighter as well. Therefore, it uses less fuel for each flight. Therefore, airlines could wind up saving money as we continue to increase the use of Ozempic and other drugs of its ilk.
Somebody's actually making this argument?
Yeah, from the Jeffries Research Services has determined this, and wait till you hear the numbers. Airlines overall, they say, could save up to $580 million per year in fuel costs if we just continue on using more and more Ozempic.
So, okay. So how exactly did they come to this determination?
Their analysis suggests that if society becomes about 10% slimmer overall, thanks to Ozempic, I don't know how much, like how many people would have to use it, what percentage of the population,
Yeah.
It doesn't say. But I guess they kind of predict that in time we'll become 10% slimmer.
Okay.
Overall, which is, I guess, nice to think about. Then the airline passenger weight would drop roughly 2%. And therefore, that would estimate that would save 1.5% of fuel, I guess, per flight or overall. And so 1.5% of all fuel they use, it would be $580 million worth of fuel per year.
Wow.
So
I'm not really sure how the math holds up on all of this stuff. I feel like I have a lot of questions on like how exactly you get to these numbers, like how we become 10% slimmer as a society.
with Ozempic.
Well, I just mean like how do we come to that conclusion that that will happen? Do we know that that would happen? Because we also are seeing, as we've talked about, I think last week, once people stop taking Ozempic, they gain the weight back really quickly and often more weight than what they previously had.
But why would you stop?
Well, it's expensive to stay on, a drug consistently.
Allie, there's so many things we do that are expensive. We have Netflix subscriptions and gym subscriptions.
Ozempic's more expensive than Netflix.
It's like $1 a day. And
that's a lot of money.
Netflix gives you bad movies. Ozempic makes you hot. And so I think it's worth it. Yeah, I think it's worth it.
I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm just saying I don't know if we can actually say that the numbers bear out that we will be 10% slimmer if people...
You're right. It'll probably be less. We'll probably get even more in shape.
Well, I just feel like it's, we are currently going through, as you've talked about, an inflation crisis. I don't think it's a crisis anymore, but like just overall, we don't have very much money.
Exactly. And think about it. The money you spend on Ozempic, 1, stops you from eating, so you save money on food. 2, it's going to bring down the cost of flying, so you'll be able to save money on your flights, too.
Yeah, they'll definitely give that money off to the consumer.
Will go down by, since they say 1.5% fuel savings, I would have to guess 1.5% of your airline price will go down as well, right?
Yeah.
It has to be that way.
Sure.
And except that it'll be canceled out by the saving money on fuel fee that they're going to add back on.
Exactly. So, we're not going to see that money back in our account. That's a joke.
You're right. You talked me out of it. I'm not starting Ozempic to save the airline's money.
Right.
It's not worth it to me.
I'm going to gain more weight.
Yeah.
To make you use more fuel.
To even it out. To cancel out all the people on Ozempic.
I don't care about you.
And I'm going to fly twice as often. You ever think, if aliens are real, what happens to money? 8772 RadioU. Helen McCaw, a former senior analyst in financial security for the Bank of England, has just written a letter to the governor of the Bank of England telling him we need to think about these things.
Okay.
We need to think about what will happen to banks and money if it's confirmed that aliens are real.
Wow. I feel like this is like, I don't know what to think about this, Hudson. This is just, I feel like if aliens do end up, invading Earth, taking over, and we're like, what's going to happen to money? It'll just make us all realize the truth, which is that money is all fake anyway.
Yeah.
It's all just a social construct. So,
she theorizes that Bitcoin may become even more valuable.
What? Bitcoin even feels more made up than, money.
Well, people won't trust their faith. They will have less faith in government-backed institutions.
Okay,
AKA,
yeah, that's fair.
Like banks and current, that kind of currency.
Yeah, if a government falls, then it's very easy to suggest that the federal money won't mean anything.
So therefore, well, I guess she's saying if it's confirmed that aliens are real, and particularly that the government has been hiding it from us, then we wouldn't trust in, because she's not even talking about if aliens invade. She's just like, what if she thinks that
aliens are among us now?
If aliens turn out to be real, and once that is confirmed, that it will cause some kind of change in the market, and she's saying we don't know what that will be, so they need to prepare.
Okay.
The government needs to prepare. The Bank of England and the world in general needs to prepare for what might happen, because it could be chaos when it comes to money.
I think it would be chaos, yes, if we found out that aliens do exist and the government's been hiding it this whole time. I think that would lead to some chaos.
And then what happens to our money?
I don't know, but I don't know what exactly she wants the Bank of England to do in preparation. Like, how do you prepare to fight against this?
I guess you have to consider all the possibilities.
Well, like, if the Bank of England is attached to the government of England, and the government of England is concealing that there are aliens, as this theory seems to state, then why would the Bank of England want to make you, believe like everything's okay? Like, they're not going to do anything to prevent this if they're a part of the problem.
But if you could mitigate the chaos that ensues if all of a sudden we find out about aliens and everybody has no money anymore, it's a double whammy.
So
what can you do to mitigate that?
Some breadcrumbs to people, like to let them know.
So you want the Bank of England to let us know about aliens?
Yeah, like they can start letting us know that there's going to be aliens coming soon, and so we're not as scared when it happens, when the news drops.
I don't know if it's
these are old questions I have.
Yeah,
I don't understand what she wants the Bank of England to do.
I think that, I believe that she's suggesting they haven't thought a bit about it at all.
Yes.
And so what they need to do is start thinking, okay, let's say that we find out aliens are real and the price of silver and gold tanks because everybody dumps their assets because they find they're not worthwhile anymore.
Yeah, they're not worth anything.
What do we do with that? Or what if the price of gold and silver skyrockets because it becomes very valuable? Or what if Bitcoin becomes all these different scenarios because we don't actually know how people will truly react and how markets will react.
We also don't truly know that aliens exist, Helen.
But we don't know they don't. So it may be prudent to start sorting this out.
Okay.
So that we're prepared. The last thing you want to do is aliens come and
we have financial insecurity.
Yeah. And we're caught with our pants down. Now, yet again, aliens and everybody's poor. Double whammy. How can we avoid this?
Thanks for listening to the RadioU podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.